Last thing we need to do on the FJ is put this rear bumper on it, or make this rear bumper, I should say. So far, I've done a few things off-camera to the rear of the FJ, like that's just some piece of like diamond plate, like 12 gauge, 14 gauge diamond plate. That's just screwed and bolted into the plastic fender right there, and then I've got a piece of aluminum. It's painted on the inside that this bolts into to keep it nice and sturdy. Obviously I put some light cages on, so I don't want to smash these big bulb lights up, and then a ladder too. So yep, that's what the rear of the FJ looks like, but we're gonna make a nice quick and simple tube bumper for it, and it's gonna be a fun little project. Similar to the front bumper, we're going to use screw tubing and make it nice, quick and easy, nice and dirty. No fancy tools required, just the cheapo pipe bender slash pipe kinker from Harbor Freight that I use a lot. I'm thinking the design's going to be pretty simple. It's going to be two parallel tubes matching the angle. They're going to be flat with the back of the frame, and then they're going to kind of wrap inwards just a little bit, just to add some profile to it. So I could make them with no bends and not flat at all, but where's the fun in that? So first things first is trial and error. That's how I do all my measurements for working with the cheapo pipe bender, pipe kinker, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a stick out roughly the size I want it to be, and get to measuring and kinking with it until I like the way it looks. Once I find a bend angle that I like, I just write it down and use a protractor to recreate it. So nothing special, nothing fancy. All right, don't mind the wet shop, but here's what we got. This is my first bend. Just did that with trial and error. It's about 25-degree bends. Went ahead and marked the second pipe, same bend location. So yep, it'll be nice and simple. Just gonna replicate that same exact pipe, and then we're gonna tie them together with some 1-inch pipe. And then we're gonna make some mounting brackets, and then we're gonna be done. So nice and quick, super easy tube bumper for the FJ Cruiser. I know I've shown this a bunch of times, but I'll figure I will show you the try on error on how I make these pipe bends look 90% correct. So got one more bend left to do. Let me show you. Okay, so I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I've got a mark right there. My center mark right there is the center mark for that die. So I know I've got it lined up in the center. Next thing is going to be squaring this up by eye. You can see this is just very clearly skewed. So you square it up by eye first when it's close to tight, and yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you make these bends with this little bender. So yeah, it's not quite Jake's Rogue Fab setup, but it does the job for simple little bends like this, and it's definitely not as repeatable. And it's a much less put together product, but there's ways to make it look decent. Okay, that is close enough for me. This is just sitting at an angle, but that's how it looks when they're tied together. This one's a little more sharp, but you're not gonna be able to notice when it's on the car. So here's what it is. I'm gonna go stagger these out, cut a bunch of notches in this 1-inch pipe, and put these together with the welder. Alrighty, so this is how the bumper's gonna look. Obviously these are gonna have a little bit of gaps, but it'll be fine. Once I fill those with weld, I'm not too worried about them. That's kind of how they're gonna look sitting in the tube. I've got maybe 1/8 of an inch overlap, so I'll be cutting that with the grinding wheel. That's how the bumper's gonna look. Nice and simple. This is a very common design, and yeah, not a lot to it. It's every 6 inches I'm putting every 6 inches I put those middle pieces, and then we're gonna mount that to the back of that chair with some angle iron. So I'm gonna go ahead and burn the rest of these in, and then we can get to holding it up and developing some mounting methods. All right, so we got the bumper completely welded up, and we're ready to mount it in place. We're gonna mount it by using these holes. There's some through holes in the frame that come from factory. We're gonna tighten these up, mount these vertically, and then weld to the bumper with this angle iron. Then we're gonna come to the wings, and we're gonna put 2 nuts in here weld those to the frame and mount to the wings as well. That way there's 4 mounting points. But while we're here, we're gonna weld in our new trailer hitch. The stock trailer hitch drops way too low for departure angles where you smack on everything. So you get a nice little low profile one. Weld that in smack dab right here. Full fat bead weld on both sides. We should be good to go. And I will note that I'm not towing anything with this. I'm never pulling hard, so I'm not worried about it. One nice and hot root pass, one hot cover pass, and we got the hitch welded in. And I even had the foresight to put a piece of angle iron through the back side of it. So that's how she looks. You can kind of, I guess, not the prettiest, but you know, grinder and paint like the welder, you ain't gonna paint that black, call it a day. Back side looks about the same. Piece of 3/16 angle, weld it to that flat section, and then weld it to the back of this cross member. And then of course we got the underside welded as well. So that's it for the trailer hitch. All right, so I got everything tacked in place. It's still movable, nothing's hard mounted yet. Just eyeballing it for right now. And this is how it looks. So this side's sitting a little lower. Like I said, it's just tacked in. I can just jack that up and final weld it. I'm gonna sit here and stare at it and try and decide if I'm gonna cut the wing off right there to make it a little more narrow than the track width, not the whole track width of the vehicle. So I'll make that play call and you guys will see it shortly. As for the trailer hitch, I went ahead and threw a piece of 3/16 angle on the back. That 3/16 angle right there is just to add more support to this whole, you know, cross member area. You need to put washers in those bolts to make up for the fact that they're right on a weld. But besides the point, that's how it looks. Like I said, I'm debating whether I'm gonna chop it possibly right here, possibly right here, just to give it a more narrow look instead of letting it ride the whole track width of the vehicle. So I'm gonna sit here and stare at it and play with it, and then once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna finalize these little baby tacks right here, and then add a straight mount right here as well. Okay, so making some more progress. I went ahead and capped, I guess I could rub that off for you guys. I went ahead and capped the top. It's not welded to the frame right here. It just goes to that angle iron. Obviously it has to be removable. That's why it looks like that. And then for the side flares, I went ahead and just drilled a hole in the frame, welded a nut into the hole. This piece is gonna sit like that and weld in the bumper just like so. Super easy, very easy to do. This side's already done. Got a big old 3/4 bolt holding that all in place, and yeah. After I get that side in, I think I'm gonna chop the wings. I don't think I want them full length. I think I'm gonna chop them probably right here. So, yep. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, throw a coat of paint on it, and then we can talk afterwards. All right, guys, no glamour shots today because I want to go drink beer, but we got it done. We got it cut down and we got everything painted. So let's do a little reveal. Bada bing, bada boom. So it's a little narrow. I cut down about 8 inches off each of the wings. Now it kind of lines up with those aluminum fenders right there, but that's how it looks. Got the 4 mounting points. You get to see the angle iron on the corner. You know, it wasn't initially what I was going with, but I think it looks fine for the daily driver mile trail vehicle that this FJ is. Don't do anything crazy with it, so I think it'll do fine. We've got the trailer hitch right there, and then we've got the plug sitting right next to it. And then on the inside, you can see we've got the rest of the trailer hitch welded to the back of the frame. And then we've got the little electrical connectors just kind of tacked in place right there. But yeah, that's how it looks. You know, that stock FJ rear cross member right there with all the Swiss cheese holes in it, it's kind of hard to cover up unless you're doing like a sheet metal bumper, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to match the tube work with the whole front end tube work. So I'm happy with it. So yeah, I am definitely happy with this. This was a nice, quick and easy video. I love working on this FJ. It's, you know, just like the Suzuki, it's super easy to work on. And slowly but surely, this FJ is becoming pretty unique. Might not be the most capable FJ out there since it's still got the IFS front end, but it definitely meets all of my needs and my uses for a daily driver slash mile trail vehicle. So here we are, super stoked working the FJ. And just a little interior update. We got a dash cover to cover up where the airbag deployed over there. And we also swapped out the seatbelts because SRS seatbelts are no fun. So yeah, just little things here and there. I have to drive it to work tomorrow, so maybe I'll get some good looks on the highway. We'll see. That's all I have for this one, guys. Next time you see the FJ, it's definitely gonna be at a different trail or at a new trail. But now I'm ranting, so I will catch you guys next time.